In my fantasy world, it's my fantasy world, my world. In my fantasy world, this be my fantasy world, my world. In my fantasy world, this my fantasy world, my world. In my fantasy world, this be my fantasy world. Fantasy world, diamonds and pearls. Gotta make it even if we gotta take it, reshape it like landscapers. I melt glaciers harder than the sun be. Niggas know me, yo, I swing back like a bungee. Nigga, be prepared. Fantasy world, piff in the air like yeah. Pour a beer for the ghost in here. Let me smoke it here. Let me toast in the open air. When we floating, yeah, like an angel with demons screaming to breathe. Niggas give me a reason to start squeezing, and I don't give a fuck, cause we still fantasy. Reality niggas wanna challenge me, challenge gravity. Catch you falling off the balance beam as I gather cream. Niggas try to lather me to catch up. Like tomatoes, I'm able to finagle a bagel with my peso. Get the fuego.
In my fantasy world, in my fantasy world, my world. In my fantasy world, I'm living in my fantasy world, my world. In my fantasy world, I'm living in my fantasy world, my world. In my fantasy world, in my fantasy world. My fantasy will bring your world to ruins. Wrapping up your head with a conclusion, start to spilling out delusions. Nigga, what you saying, you pursuing? I'm moving through these streets, choosing my own destiny. Cause I be with Spink as we rash on the Freestyle Kronikals Part 2. Meanwhile, we chill back, parlay up on the block as we smoke haze every day. And we do it for the people in the sky. They just fade away, we ask why. The Lord replies, he's like, yo, it'll be alright. I'm like, please help me understand. Cause in my fantasy, I'm just trying to become a man. So listen to my plan. En el mundo de mis sueños, there will be no pain. You will never say lo siento. All you'll do is follow the tempo into the beat, indiscreet as we ride on the street.
In my fantasy world, in my fantasy world, my world. In my fantasy world, this be my fantasy world, my world. In my fantasy world, in my fantasy world, my world. In my fantasy world, this be my fantasy world.
Yeah, Final Fantasy, I'm out here with an illusion. Niggas don't want it cause I hit them with the confusion. Yeah, boy, move on. City of delusion. Furthermore, I'm lost
and I don't know where to go. Oh, hold on, wait a second. I'm waiting for Stephen and Blessed with the Smith and Wesson. With the Smith and Wesson.
Tessin', who finesse it, I come address it. You know fantasy world, no guessing. Suggestion, just get on the floor, give me the cream baguettes. Niggas on the scene, don't forget. We smoke the weed till we high, eyes bleed from the tie. Niggas know me, dog, always on that side. That side, niggas really wanna get the knife, so they cut throat. I come through, yo, I just puff smoke. Do what I do, move what I move, keep it always cool, yo. Got a groove.
In my fantasy world, in my fantasy world, my world. In my fantasy world, I'm living in my fantasy world, my world. In my fantasy world, in my fantasy world, my world. I'm living in my fantasy world. Welcome to my fantasy world.